Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Christchurch Bell's Corners Family Good Friday offering. I'm going to talk a little bit about Good Friday, and then I have two exciting activities for the family to do together. Good Friday, or God's Friday, is one of the most important days in our Christian calendar. It's the day that we tell the story of Jesus' arrest in the Garden of Gethsemane, his trial by Pontius Pilate, a Roman governor who did not think that Jesus was guilty, but was frightened that the Jewish people would riot if he did not condemn him. And so he did, and Jesus was abandoned and betrayed by his friends, and he was crucified on a cross, and he died. And so it's a day that is a sad day for us in many ways. It's a day that we remember that there are times in all of our lives, times like now, when we can be afraid, we can feel abandoned or cut off or isolated. We can be those things. And yet we know that while this is such an important day in our story, it's not the end of our story. That while the disciples, Jesus' friends, felt helpless and hopeless and afraid, in the midst of our fear, we do not feel hopeless, because we see this cross. You can see the cross behind me here. This cross is empty. Jesus overcame even death on a cross. And so the cross symbolizes and reminds us of, yes, that there is pain and suffering, but it also reminds us of God's love for us. So I have a couple of activities that I think you'll enjoy, and the links for the pages that you'll need to do these things are found below this video. So the first one is a scavenger hunt. I think you'll enjoy it. There is a document with a list with all of the things that you need to find, and you may need to be inventive because you can't go outside, and you can go very just maybe in your own yard if you're fortunate enough to have a yard. But these things you will be able to find around your home, and if you can't, you may have to find a way to be creative. I'll be really interested to hear what you come up with. Maybe you could even take a picture. Once you have found or created as many of these items as you can, you'll print the second document, and this one can be used in a couple different ways. It can help you order the items that you found and tell the story of Jesus's passion, we call it, his arrest, his trial, and his crucifixion. And so we can tell that story, and you can mix the story up, you can put it in order, you can work together this Good Friday to tell the story. Once you've done that, you might want to do a craft, and we've included the link that we have before for the younger children to color a cross, and there's a cross in the pages that you've had before under Good Friday. But for the older children, I think you might find it fun to make something called a St. Bridget's cross. I've made one here. I'll show you again in just a moment. St. Bridget was an Irish saint who was famous for healing. And one time when she prayed for healing for a king, she picked up what were on the floor, the rushes. In those days, there were no carpets or floor cleaning. What people did was they went out and they cut bulrushes and they laid them on the floor kind of like a carpet. And then when they dried up and had dirt on them, they would pick those up and carry them out and sweep and start all over again. So she picked up rushes. Now, I don't think you're going to be able to find rushes. Rushes are probably about the width of the palm leaves that we use on Palm Sunday. But of course, we didn't have Palm Sunday this year in the way we usually do, so we don't have those reeds at home. But if you, like me, kind of got caught out and there might be some straws, plastic straws, or maybe pipe cleaners at home. I got caught with a lot of plastic straws before we weren't allowed to use them anymore. So this is a great way to use them up if that's what's happened. So again, below the video, we've attached the directions on how to make a St. Bridget's cross. It's very easy. And also, you may find there a link for videos if you'd like to see someone making one. But I'll hold this up again closer, and you can see that it's like a woven pattern, and I've just used elastic bands in order to make the cross with straws, with plastic straws, and then I cut the ends to even everything out. So I hope you have a chance this Good Friday to do something together as a family, to remember why this day is so important to us, to do the scavenger hunt, to do a craft, and to remember that while the cross can remind us that there is suffering and pain in the world, that is not the end of our story. That the cross also reminds us that God's love is so strong that it overcomes suffering and even death. And so it overcomes our fear and reminds us that we are the beloved children of God and that God is with us through everything. Thank you.